The ground shook under Jinha's feet as something big crashed into his scrapyard. He dropped his wrench and ran outside his small repair shop. Black smoke rose from behind the piles of old metal and broken ship parts. What the hell was that? Jinha said to himself. He grabbed his tool bag and ran toward the smoke. Jinha was not a young man anymore. At 45, his black hair was turning gray and his hands were always covered in grease. He had been fixing things on Frontier Station Kepler 442b for 20 years. Ships, machines, anything that broke, Jinha could fix it. The station was not fancy. It was on the edge of human space where few people wanted to live. Most folks here were miners, traders, or people running from something. Jinha liked it that way. Quiet and simple, but today was not quiet. He climbed over a pile of old engine parts and saw something that made him stop. A ship had crashed into his yard, but it was not like any ship he had ever seen. The metal looked like glass that changed colors in the light. Parts of it were still glowing with soft blue light, even though smoke was coming from the engine section. Beautiful, Jinha whispered. Then he heard voices. Two tall figures climbed out of the broken ship. Jinha had never seen aliens before, but he knew that's what they were. They were much taller than humans, with skin that looked like it had tiny stars under. Their hair was long and white, and their eyes were big and dark like deep space. The first alien was a woman. She wore clothes that looked expensive, with gold marks on her shoulders. The second was also a woman, but she carried weapons and looked like a soldier. Both of them were hurt. They had cuts on their arms and faces. The first woman saw Jinha and walked toward him. She moved like she was used to being in charge. Human, she said in perfect English but with a strange accent. I am Harin of the Etherian Collective. This is Quan, my guardian. Our ship is damaged. We need help. Jinha looked at the smoking ship, then back at the aliens. He had heard of Etherians before. They were supposed to be very smart and have amazing technology. But here they were, crashed in his junkyard asking for help. Well, Jinha said, scratching his head. I don't know much about alien ships, but I know about broken things. Let me take a look. Harin's eyes went wide. You would help us? Even though we are not human? Lady, if it's broken, I can fix it. That's what I do. Jinha walked toward the ship. Besides, you crashed in my yard. Can't leave you here. Quan stepped forward and put her hand on her weapon. Harin, we should not trust this human. We know nothing about his kind. Harin held up her hand. Quan, we have no choice. Our ship cannot fly, and the Dominion fleet is hunting us. This human is our only hope. Jinha heard the word Dominion and felt cold. Everyone in this part of space knew about the Dominion fleet. They were the galaxy's police force, but they were not nice police. They took what they wanted and killed anyone who got in their way. The Dominion is after you? Jinha asked. Yes, Harin said quietly. They destroyed our home world. They hunt the last of our people. We escaped, but our ship was damaged in the fight. Jinha nodded. He did not like bullies, and the Dominion sounded like the biggest bullies in the galaxy. All right, he said. Let's see what we're working with. He walked around the ship, looking at the damage. The metal was cracked in several places, and some kind of blue liquid was leaking from the engine section. But what really caught his attention was a big hole in the back of the ship, near what looked like the main engine. This hole, Jinha said, pointing at it. This wasn't made by a crash. Someone shot you. Harin and Quan looked at each other. The Dominion found us just as we were jumping to hyperspace, Harin explained. They hit our quantum drive with a disruption beam. We barely escaped. Quantum drive? Jinha had never heard of that before. It's what makes our ship go faster than light, Quan said. Without it, we cannot leave this planet. Jinha climbed inside the ship to look at the engine. The inside was even more amazing than the outside. Everything glowed softly, and the walls seemed to be made of living crystal. But the engine room was a mess. Pieces of metal and crystal were scattered everywhere, and the smell of burned electronics filled the air. In the center of the room was a large sphere that looked like it was made of liquid starlight, but it was cracked, and the light was flickering, like a dying candle. "This is your quantum drive?" Jinha asked. "Yes," Harin said sadly. "It took our best engineers 50 years to build. Now it is broken beyond repair." Jinha studied the broken sphere. He had no idea how it worked, but he could see the problem. The crystal matrix that held the energy was cracked and the power flow was all wrong. It was like trying to pour water through a broken cup. Jinha said. "I can't fix this the way your people would fix it, but maybe I can fix it the way humans fix things." "What do you mean?" Quan asked. Jinha smiled. "Your people probably built this to work perfectly, right? Every part in exactly the right place, everything balanced just so?" "Yes," Harin said. "Etherian technology requires perfect harmony, while human technology doesn't." Jinha started pulling tools from his bag. "We build things to work even when everything goes wrong. We make things tough, not perfect." He began examining the broken drive more closely. The alien technology was incredibly advanced, but Jinha could see patterns in it. Energy flowed from here to there. Power was stored in this crystal, and that piece controlled the flow. It was like a very complicated engine, and Jinha understood engines. "I think I can help you," he said finally. "But it won't be pretty, and it won't be the way your people would do it." Harin grabbed his arm. "Can you really fix it?" Jinha looked at her desperate face, then at Quan, who was trying to hide her hope. These aliens were far from home, hunted by enemies, and their only hope was a human mechanic who had never seen their technology before. But Jinha had been fixing impossible things his whole life. That's what humans did. They found a way to make things work even when they shouldn't. "Lady," he said with a grin, "when a human fixes something, it doesn't just work. It works better." Outside, the twin suns of Kepler 442b were setting, and the first stars were appearing in the sky. Jinha didn't know it yet, but somewhere out there, the Dominion fleet was already tracking them, and he was about to do something that would change everything. Jinha worked through the night. He had moved all his tools into the alien ship and was taking apart the broken quantum drive piece by piece. Harin and Quan watched him work, but they did not understand what he was doing. "Human," Harin said. After several hours, "This is impossible. The quantum matrix cannot be rebuilt without our special crystals. We do not have those crystals here." Jinha looked up from his work. His face was covered in sweat and alien engine oil. "Who said anything about rebuilding? I'm not making a new one. I'm making it work with what we have." He pointed to a pile of parts he had taken from broken human ships in his yard. "See this power coupling from a mining ship? And this stabilizer from an old transport? Your quantum drive needs steady power and stable energy flow, right?" "Yes, but those parts are primitive. They cannot handle quantum energy," Quan said. "Maybe not the way you use quantum energy," Jinha said. "But what if we use it differently?" He showed them his plan. Instead of trying to fix the perfect crystal matrix, he was going to bypass it completely. He would use human power systems to feed energy into the quantum drive in a new way. It was like fixing a broken water pipe by running new pipes around the broken part. "This is madness," Harin whispered. "You are connecting our most advanced technology to your basic systems. It should not work." "Should not work and will not work are different things," Jinha said. He began welding a human power cable to an alien energy node. Sparks flew, and the ship's lights flickered. The work was dangerous. Several times, energy surges almost electrocuted Jinha. Once a small explosion threw him across the room, but he kept working. This was what humans did when things got tough. They worked harder. Harin tried to help, but she did not understand Jinha's methods. "Our engineers would spend months calculating every connection," she said. "You are just trying things." "That's right," Jinha said, connecting another cable. "Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to try everything until something works." As the hours passed, something strange happened. The alien technology began to respond to Jinha's modifications. The quantum drive's broken crystals started to glow again, but the light was different now. Instead of the pure blue light of perfect Etherian technology, it was a mix of blue and white, alien energy mixed with human power. Quan watched in amazement. Harin, look at the energy readings. The power flow is not following our design at all, but it is working. More than working, Harin said, staring at her instruments. The energy output is actually higher than before. How is this possible? Jinha wiped his hands on a dirty rag. Your people built this to be perfect, right? Every part exactly where it should be. Everything balanced just right? Yes. Perfect balance is the foundation of all Etherian technology. Well, perfect balance is boring, Jinha said. What happens when something goes wrong? What happens when you lose a part or something breaks in the middle of a fight? Harin thought about this. The system fails. Perfect balance requires all parts to work together. Exactly. But what if instead of perfect balance you had controlled chaos? Jinha showed them what he had done. Instead of one perfect energy flow, he had created many small energy flows. If one broke, the others would keep working. If the system got more power than expected, it would use that power instead of burning out. Your way is like a beautiful glass cup, Jinha explained. Perfect, but if you drop it, it breaks. My way is like a metal cup. Not as pretty, but you can throw it at a wall and it will still hold water. As if to prove his point, Jinha kicked one of the new power couplings. The energy flow flickered for a second, then found a new path and kept working. Amazing, Quan said quietly. You have made our technology stronger. But their celebration was cut short. Harin's scanner began beeping loudly. Ships approaching, she said. Multiple contacts coming out of hyperspace. Through the ship's viewing port, they could see lights in the dark sky. Ships were appearing one by one, big and threatening. The Dominion fleet had found them. Jinha counted 12 ships, each one bigger than the alien vessel. How long before they get here? 6 hours, maybe 7, Harin said. Her voice was shaking. Is the quantum drive ready? Quan asked. Jinha looked at his work. The drive was putting out power, but he had not tested it yet. I don't know, I think so, but what? Harin demanded. Well, I didn't just fix your drive. I changed it.
Jinha looked uncomfortable.
It should work fine for flying, but I added some extra features. What kind of features? Jinha pointed to several new connections he had made. Your quantum drive creates a lot of energy, right? Energy that moves things through space? Yes. Well, what if that same energy could be used for other things? What if instead of just moving your ship, it could do more? Before Harin could ask what he meant, alarms started going off all over the ship. The Dominion fleet was closer than they thought. They are scanning us, Quan said, reading her instruments. They know we are here. Jinha made a decision. We are not running. What? Both aliens said at the same time. You heard me. We are not running from these bullies. Jinha's eyes had a dangerous look in them. They want to fight? Let's give them a fight they will never forget. He started activating systems on the ship that Harin did not recognize. New displays lit up, showing power levels and weapon configurations that should not exist. Jinha, what did you do to our ship? Harin asked. I told you, when a human fixes something, it works better than before. Jinha grinned. Your people built this ship to run from fights. I rebuilt it to win them. The quantum drive was now humming with power, but it was not just power for flying. Jinha had turned the peaceful Etherian vessel into something completely new, a ship that could adapt and fight and grow stronger during battle. This is impossible, Quan whispered as new weapon systems came online. Lady, Jinha said, putting on a tool belt full of strange human and alien devices mixed together. Impossible is just another word for something humans have not tried yet. Outside, the Dominion fleet was getting ready to attack. They thought they were hunting 2 helpless aliens and 1 primitive human. They had no idea what Jinha had created in his little repair shop. They were about to learn why humans were not just survivors in the galaxy. They were the ones who turned hopeless battles into impossible victories. The real fight was about to begin. The first Dominion ship fired before Jinha could finish explaining his modifications. A red energy beam hit their ship's shield, making everything shake. "Shield's at 80%, Quan reported from her station. "Good," Jinha said, his hands moving over controls that were half human parts and half alien technology. "Now let's see what this ship can really do." Harin stared at her instruments in shock. "Jinha, our power levels are increasing. How is that possible?" "Remember what I said about controlled chaos?" Jinha hit a button he had installed next to the original controls. "Your shields just absorbed that energy beam and fed it back into our systems. The more they shoot us, the stronger we get." This was Jinha's first big change to the ship. Instead of shields that just blocked attacks, he had built shields that could take enemy energy and use it to power their own systems. It was like catching bullets and turning them into more ammunition. Another Dominion ship fired, then another. Red and blue energy beams hit their ship from 3 directions, but instead of taking damage, their power readings kept climbing. "Impossible," Quan whispered. "We are getting stronger from their attacks." "Now comes the fun part," Jinha said. He activated his second modification. The quantum drive began to hum louder, but instead of just powering the engines, the energy was flowing to new systems Jinha had built throughout the ship. Suddenly, their small alien ship was putting out as much power as a battle cruiser. "Target the biggest ship first," Jinha said. "But we have no weapons that can hurt their armor," Harin protested. "Who said anything about weapons?" Jinha pressed another button. A beam of pure quantum energy shot out from their ship and hit the largest Dominion vessel. But this was not a normal energy weapon. This was something completely new. The beam hit the enemy ship's hull and kept going, passing right through their shields like they were not there. Where the beam touched the enemy ship, the metal began to change. The atoms themselves were being rearranged, turning the strong battle armor into something weak and brittle. "What is that?" Harin gasped. "Molecular disruption beam," Jinha said, calmly. "I took your quantum manipulation technology and mixed it with human mining equipment. Instead of digging through rock, it digs through anything." The big Dominion ship tried to return fire, but when their energy beam hit their own weakened hull, the ship began to break apart from the inside. "1 down, 11 to go," Jinha said, but the Dominion fleet was not stupid. They quickly changed tactics. Instead of shooting at the alien ship one at a time, all 11 remaining ships fired at once. The combined energy blast was enormous. It lit up the night sky and shook the ground for miles around. Any normal ship would have been destroyed instantly. But Jinha's modified shields absorbed all that energy and fed it back into their systems. Now their ship was glowing like a small star, filled with more power than it had ever been designed to hold. "Power levels at 300%, Quan reported. "Jinha, this is dangerous. The ship cannot handle this much energy." "Sure it can," Jinha said. "Watch this." He activated his third modification. The excess energy began flowing into new systems he had built into the ship's structure itself. The hull began to glow and new armor plating extended from hidden compartments. Weapon ports opened along the sides of the ship, revealing guns that had not been there before. "The ship is growing?" Harin could not believe what she was seeing. "Adaptive construction," Jinha explained as he targeted 3 more Dominion ships. "The more power we have, the bigger and stronger we get. And thanks to your enemies, we have a lot of power." The fight that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Dominion fleet had the numbers and the experience, but Jinha's modified ship had something they could not understand: the ability to learn and adapt during the battle. Every time the enemy tried a new attack, the ship's systems analyzed it and built a defense. Every time they changed tactics, the ship changed too, becoming whatever it needed to be to win. When the Dominion ships tried to surround them, the alien vessel split its quantum beam into multiple smaller beams, hitting several targets at once. When they tried to ram the ship, new shield projectors extended from the hull, creating barriers that turned the attacking ship's own momentum against them. When they tried to jam the ship's communications, Jinha's hybrid human-alien systems simply switched to backup frequencies that the enemy had never seen before. This is not a ship anymore, Quan said in wonder as she watched their vessel transform again, growing new weapons to counter the enemy's latest attack. This is something alive. All good human machines are a little bit alive, Jinha said. He was completely calm, like this was just another day at the repair shop. They have to be, or they break when you need them most. One by one, the Dominion ships fell. Some were destroyed by the molecular disruption beam. Others were disabled when their own weapons were turned against them by the ship's adaptive shields. A few simply stopped working when their computer systems were overwhelmed by the strange hybrid technology they were trying to fight. Finally, only one Dominion ship remained. It was trying to escape, but Jinha's ship was faster now, powered by all the energy it had absorbed from the battle. "Let them go," Harin said. "What? Why?" Jinha asked. "Because now they will tell others what they saw here today. They will spread the word that humans are not primitive. That human technology, mixed with ours, can defeat anything." Jinha thought about this and smiled. "You know what? You are right." He opened a communication channel to the fleeing ship. "Attention Dominion vessel, this is Jinha, human mechanic. Tell your friends that next time they want to pick on someone, they should pick on someone their own size." The Dominion ship jumped to hyperspace without answering. As the battle ended, Jinha's ship slowly powered down. The extra armor folded back into the hull, and the emergency weapons retracted. But the ship was not the same as it had been before. It was bigger, stronger, and filled with new systems that had been born during the fight. "Jinha," Harin said, quietly. "What have you done?" "I fixed your ship," he said simply. "And now it knows how to fix itself." Outside, the wreckage of 11 Dominion warships drifted in space, and somewhere in the galaxy, one surviving ship was carrying news that would change everything. Humans were no longer just mechanics and miners. They were the people who could take any technology and make it better than anyone thought possible. 3 days after the battle, Jinha was back in his repair shop, working on a broken mining robot. He tried to act like nothing had changed, but everything was different now. The alien ship sat in his yard, still glowing softly with the new energy systems he had built into it. Harin and Quan had spent those 3 days studying what Jinha had done to their ship. They ran tests, took measurements, and tried to understand how a human mechanic had created something their best scientists said was impossible. "Jinha," Harin called from the ship's doorway. "We need to talk." Jinha put down his tools and walked over. "What about?" "About what you have done. About what this means." Harin's voice was serious, more serious than Jinha had ever heard it. She and Quan led him inside the ship, to a room he had never seen before. The walls were covered with maps and symbols he did not recognize. "Jinha," Harin said, "I have not been completely honest with you." "Oh?" Jinha sat down and waited. "I told you I was nobility among my people. That was true, but not complete. I am Harin, last heir of the Etherian Royal Science Council. I carry the complete technological knowledge of my civilization." She touched a wall panel, and the room filled with floating displays showing alien technology, star charts, and scientific formulas that hurt Jinha's eyes to look at. "For 3,000 years, my people studied the sciences of energy, space, and time. We built perfect machines and perfect cities. We thought we had reached the peak of what was possible." "Sounds nice," Jinha said. "It was. Until we met the Dominion fleet." Harin's voice became sad. "They had something we did not understand. The ability to adapt quickly to new situations. Our perfect technology could not change fast enough to fight them. In 6 months, they conquered our entire civilization." Jinha began to understand. "Your people were too perfect." "Yes. When something unexpected happened, we did not know how to handle it. But you..." Harin gestured toward the ship's modified systems. "You took our technology and made it better by making it imperfect." Quan stepped forward. "Jinha, in 3 days, you did something our greatest minds could not do in 3 centuries. You created technology that grows and learns and adapts." "Just mixed your stuff with our stuff," Jinha said. It was not that hard. It was impossible, Harin said firmly. According to all our science, what you did should not work. But it does work, and it works better than anything we ever built. She activated another display, showing the results of their tests. Your modifications have made our ship 40% more efficient, 60% stronger, and completely unpredictable to enemy scanners. You have created something entirely new. Jinha scratched his head. So what do you want from me? Harin and Quan looked at each other, then knelt down in front of Jinha. We want to offer you something, Harin said. By the ancient laws of my people, a life debt of this magnitude can only be repaid in one way. With marriage? Jinha joked. With partnership, Harin said seriously. Jinha, I offer you the complete scientific knowledge of the Etherian collective. 3,000 years of research into energy manipulation, quantum mechanics, space travel, and technologies your people have not even dreamed of yet. Jinha's eyes went wide. You want to give me all of that? Not give. Share. Quan spoke for the first time in Standard that day. We want to learn from you too. We want to understand how humans think, how you solve problems, how you make impossible things work. Your species has something we lost, Harin continued. The ability to look at any problem and find a way to solve it, even if the solution should not work. We want to combine that with our knowledge. Jinha was quiet for a long time, thinking. Finally, he asked, What exactly are you talking about? Harin stood up and activated a new display. It showed star maps with hundreds of worlds marked in red. The Dominion fleet controls most of the galaxy now. They hunt down any species that might threaten them. Humans are still too small for them to notice, but that will not last forever. So we build something they cannot fight. We take human adaptability and Etherian knowledge and create technology that grows stronger every time they attack it. Quan activated another display showing ship designs unlike anything Jinha had ever seen. We build a fleet of ships like this one. Ships that learn and adapt and evolve. Ships that turn every battle into a chance to become more powerful. You want to fight the entire Dominion fleet? Jinha asked. We want to free the galaxy, Harin said, and we cannot do it without human ingenuity. Jinha looked at the displays, at the alien technology, at the two women who were offering him knowledge beyond his wildest dreams. Then he looked out the window at his small repair shop, at the quiet life he had built on this frontier planet. There is one problem, he said. What? I am just a mechanic. I fix things. I do not know anything about fighting wars or freeing galaxies. Harin smiled for the first time since he had met her. Jinha, you just defeated 12 Dominion warships with a broken alien ship and a box of spare parts. You turned peaceful technology into something that could fight and win and grow stronger. If that is not war strategy, what is? Quan nodded. Besides, we are not asking you to become a general. We are asking you to do what you do best. Fix things. The galaxy is broken, and it needs someone who knows how to make broken things work. Jinha thought about this. The galaxy was a big place, full of bullies like the Dominion fleet and people like Harin and Quan who needed help. Maybe it was time for humans to show everyone what they could really do. All right, he said finally. But I have conditions. Name them. First, we do this the human way. No perfect plans, no waiting for everything to be ready. We build as we go and we adapt when things go wrong. Agreed. Second, we start small. We help one world at a time and we learn from every fight. Agreed. And third, Jinha grinned, when this is all over, I want to go back to my repair shop. I like fixing things. Harin and Quan both smiled. Agreed. As they shook hands, Jinha realized that his life had just changed completely. He was no longer just a mechanic on a frontier world. He was the first human to form an alliance with an advanced alien civilization. Outside, his modified alien ship hummed quietly, its systems already designing improvements for the next battle. Soon, there would be more ships like it, carrying human and alien crews working together. Word of the battle was already spreading through the underground networks of free worlds. Humans, the galaxy's forgotten species, had proven they could do more than just survive in the cosmic arena. They could take any situation, no matter how hopeless, and turn it into a victory. Jinha looked at his new partners and smiled. Well, then I guess we have work to do. Let us go fix the galaxy. And that was how a simple human mechanic became the founder of the greatest alliance the galaxy had ever seen. Not through conquest or politics, but by doing what humans did best. Taking broken things and making them work better than anyone thought possible. The universe would never be the same.